Going on, guys? Fomc is about to commence in a bit, about 5 minutes, so less than 5 minutes. I've been having all types of complications. We're here though. We're here. Let's go. Let's see what we can catch. I can see that we've got equal lows here. We have Asia lows, we have previous days low. So I want to see if we can get an entry down towards these areas. What's the volume in this? No. Alright. Currently we're pushing up. I can see that Nasdaq had a big push to the downside. It's now going up, so I don't know. I'll be waiting for like the first couple minutes to see. Feed is always delayed, so I'm gonna be watching. Let me see my 4 hour time frame very quickly. We have this big wick to the top side, which I doubt we are gonna come through. So it's like 3, 5, that's about these highs. So it's either we use this just fall off, or we run these highs, form some type of rejection to the downside. If we go to regular trading hours, see what information we have. So we have price just opening and just trading higher. Even retesting these lows. So after going so high, if we didn't have the news, I wouldn't be trying to trade. I think market would just move sideways. But since we have the news, let's see if we can get some type of direction. And mm, so we have a weekly open, weekly open down there. Really, we've currently created this IFVT, which we run liquidity before getting to. This is hourly fair value gap here. We're currently trading off. So let's see how profit is. I don't know if I'll be participating in any buys. Um, I like the fact that Asia low, pre-New York low, 930 low. Like we all have lows here. Okay, okay, okay. Interesting, interesting. It's pushing up. I think I wanted to sell off from here though. Other brokers, they didn't even dip down that low. But let's see. The price starts to fall off. Okay, nice reaction so far. It's a 1 minute IFVG. Sorry, fair value gap that I would want us to. Let's see if we can invert this fair value gap. Right there. On another broker, it's already tapped into the fair value gap. That would be crazy if they leave me alone, but okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go with 3 here. 794. It's gonna be my day for the morning, etc., etc. Damn. If you play back, you see when I said price has a potential to take this high first before going for the lows. I don't think we're gonna come back for this. Okay. See how this plays out. Go for deeper lows here. Now we wait. Nice. We have for 930 higher. Okay. I like this one. Okay. There's a volume imbalance right there as well. I have an entry here on one broker. Trying to see this. First 5 minutes printed. We're pulling back now. We have equal lows here. Yeah, it's my one shot. I'm not gonna overthink this. I really wanted to come back to get me some more. That's 50% out of it. Full contract here. Gold, we tested this. Tested the rejection block. We're in macro right now. So we have the meetings at 30 past. So I don't know what the plan is going to be for that. Fire for that. So the macro is over now. So it's like getting our runs. Within the 1 minute. We have a time. Fair value gap that we just found. It's just like an hourly weekly something that we just hear. Start expanding for the week. Like we've done less than 1,000 points for the week. Like even when we consolidate, we move more than that. Like look at these odds here. Going for that. Fire for that. We have this big weekly weekly opening gap. I guess at 50% right now. I feel like my stop loss is even like too respectable. To be honest, it shouldn't go all the way up there if we're gonna go bearish. It's 2 more hours to make a run. So that's that. Let me see how much I'm actually risking. So I don't want to risk a decent amount. 6, 7, 792. Just flip on me and previous daily low. I'm coming now, Jerry. Look, I'm coming. I'm making about 174. Yeah, 85, 290. I'm risking about 174 right now. I've been under risking for a minute now. I think it's time to pop out and show niggas. Like if I broke man, I'm the one that score with him. Apparently, you get tax less if you use micros. So random. Uh, Cleaner. What's this? That's the 15-minute CSD. Let's take that out. Um, if it's DPR that we first shy off, which is like, why did you go all the way there and not touch it? Are you planning on going back? That'd be a bit shady. Um, See right now, I'm gonna let this play out. Um, Signatures here. News came about. Opened. We traded all the way up in there. 5797, 794, 5796. Alright, we missed it by a point or two. But my point is, we traded higher at the news release. Ideally, my stop loss should go like just above this. If I'm being honest. More practical than the way to say the least. I'm gonna put one right now. You know what? I'm not gonna touch it. It's this IVG on the 1 minute time frame. Should I leave it on this time frame? It kind of shows it a bit more. So this time frame now we have the rejection block and we have this right here. Okay. One more thing I've just noticed. We had 130 run out these lows and close. So my thing is, are they looking to use this as a rerun month lows to continue to push upwards? Could have done that. Why did they go all the way up here and then come back? You know, actually they came down first before going up. So they ran out buy side. So they traded to discount, ran out buy side, and now retraced all the way back. I say we crash. I'll be back, guys. What I could do. Um, Probably take one out. Okay, yeah. Alright, we're back here. Let's just let this play out and see what we get. Still nothing. This week. It's the Fomc that just started. Let me see if it's live.
Have moved up over recent months, as reflected in both market and survey-based measures. Respondents to surveys of consumers, businesses, and professional forecasters point to tariffs as the driving factor. Beyond the next year or so, however, most measures of longer-term expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal. The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation this year is 3%, somewhat higher than projected in March. The median inflation projection falls to 2.4% in 2026 and 2.1% in 2027. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. At today's meeting, the committee decided to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 4.25% to 4.5% and to continue reducing the size of our balance sheet. We will continue to determine the appropriate stance of monetary policy based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. Changes to trade, immigration, fiscal, and regulatory policies continue to evolve, and their effects on the economy remain uncertain. The effects of tariffs will depend, among other things, on their ultimate level. Expectations of that level, and thus of the related economic effects, reached a peak in April and have since declined. Even so, increases in tariffs this year are likely to push up prices and weigh on economic activity. The effects on inflation could be short-lived, reflecting a one-time shift in the price level. It's also possible that the inflationary effects could instead be more persistent. Avoiding that outcome will depend on the size of the tariff effects, on how long it takes for them to pass through fully into prices, and ultimately on keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our obligation is to keep longer-term inflation expectations well anchored and to prevent a one-time increase in the price level from becoming an ongoing inflation problem. As we act to meet that obligation, we will balance our maximum employment and price stability mandates, keeping in mind that
Can he help us get the TP or not? Find out in the next episode. I like how we came to react here, and I don't know, like just crash for me. Like that would be ideal. I don't know what all these lines are here, but it seems to be holding price, bro. I might go buy NASDAQ on a different account. Yeah. The odds are we will go run on all these highs. These equal highs now. So it's the first 5 minutes of the news and see how prices reacting to 50% of the body. It's interesting. Stop loss above 50% of the week is never a bad idea. So these highs to close this fair value gap. But this isn't one candle that has. This could be it for the trade. It's not looking like it's going towards our direction. So we start there. And NASDAQ is currently pushing up. Let's do that. Okay. Nasdaq's got equal lows relative pair to we are right now. I just traded into a 1 minute fair value gap. Add some value, but not quite in the macro just yet. Got 10 minutes.
Without price stability, we cannot achieve the long periods of strong labor market conditions that benefit all Americans. We may find ourselves in the challenging scenario in which our dual mandate goals are in tension. If that were to occur, we would consider how far the economy is from each goal and the potentially different time horizons over which those respective gaps would be anticipated to close. For the time being, we are well positioned to wait to learn more about the likely course of the economy before considering any adjustments to our policy stance. In our SEP, FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path for the federal funds rate based on what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario going forward. The median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 3.9% at the end of this year, the same as projected in March. The median projection declines to 3.6% at the end of next year and to 3.4% at the end of 2027, a little higher than the March projection. These individual forecasts are always subject to uncertainty, and as I've noted, uncertainty is unusually elevated. And of course, these projections are not a committee plan or decision. At this meeting, the committee continued its discussions as part of our 5-year review of our monetary policy framework. We focused on issues related to assessing the risks and uncertainties that are relevant for monetary policy and the potential implications for policy strategy and communications. Our review includes outreach and public events involving a wide range of parties, including Fed Listens events around the country and a research conference that we held last month. We are open to new ideas and critical feedback, and we will take on board lessons of the last 5 years in determining our findings. We intend to wrap up any modifications to our statement on longer-run goals and monetary policy strategy by late summer. After that, we will consider enhancements to our suite of communications tools, including the SEP. The Fed has been assigned 2 goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing inflation sustainably to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission, and we at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
Thank you. Colby Smith of the New York Times. To what extent has the more limited impact from tariffs at this stage on inflation changed your view on what the ultimate economic fallout will be from these policies and the timing of when they will materialize in the data?
So we've had 3 months of favorable inflation readings since the high readings of January and February, and that's, of course, highly welcome news. Part of that just is that services, core services, both housing services and non-housing services, have really been grinding down toward levels that are consistent with 2% inflation. So that's the good news. We've had goods inflation just moving up a bit, and of course we expect, as you point out, we do expect to see more of that over the course of the summer. It takes some time for tariffs to work their way through the chain of distribution to the end consumer. A good example of that would be goods being sold at retailers today may have been imported several months ago before tariffs were imposed. So we're beginning to see some effects, and we do expect to see more of them over coming months. We do also see price increases in some of the relevant categories like personal computers and audiovisual equipment and things like that that are attributable to tariff increases. In addition, we look at surveys of businesses.
Man, don't please, like, for real, for real. If we go back below that 1 minute IAVG, I'm gonna add another position to it. I'm gonna let's get a closure first. So far. It's a fair value gap. It's actually a PPR, so it's a 1 minute. If we can close below, we're looking to enter one more position.
Hard to know given the unusual flows in the first quarter, but it appears to be 1.5–2%, maybe a little better than that. Sentiment has come up off of its very low levels. It's still depressed. So you can point to things. The housing market is a longer run problem and also a short run problem. I don't think it's indicative of basically the situation is we have a longer run shortage of housing, and we also have high rates right now. I think the best thing we can do for the housing market is to restore price stability in a sustainable way and create a strong labor market, and that's the best thing we can do for the housing market. You asked about the job market. Again, look at labor force participation, look at wages, look at job creation. They're all at healthy levels now. I would say you can see perhaps a very, very slow continued cooling, but nothing that's troubling at this time. But we watch it very, very carefully. So overall, again, the current stance of monetary policy leaves us well positioned to respond in a timely way to economic developments, and for now, and we'll be watching the data carefully.
Well, just quickly on, given that there are concerns inflation will.
Come on, man. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Chris, like, I think they want to use the last power macro. Something like that. Two, five. This kind. 7, 78. Put it 7, 78. It just entered the macro as well, so can you just think? Yeah. Nice. Good one. Let me see price continue to sink. That's my one click for now. How far can you fall? Come on. See if I can get it. Good. Because of this, I'm gonna try to let the rest of my TP. Big blows in. Just take those off. Go, man. Let's go. Let's go, man. Let's go, man. What are we going to do? Got a bit more liquidity to go. Asia lows. We've got a new hourly candle opening. If we just continue this sell off on it. Alright, the rejection block now, the hourly time frame. Pretty much sure what I probably make now open. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go. She's alive, man. Let's go. Closing it. Ooh, that was nice, man. That was nice. That was nice. That was nice, man. It was nice call out. It was nice. It was nice. It was nice. Um, it was nice. It was nice.
Right. For data. And again, in the meantime, we can do that because the economy remains in solid condition.
Nick Tamarosa, The Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, I guess I'm wondering if you could explain a little bit more the divergence we see in the dot plot, particularly around the 2025 rate projections. I realize this is, you have one group of officials that are putting down no cuts, another that are putting down more than one. And again, recognizing that could be difficult to summarize, but is it a matter of people having a different outlook or a different reaction function, a different commitment to defending against another inflation mistake? How did that play out over the last 2 days?
So you're right. This is often the case. We have a pretty healthy diversity of views on the committee. We did have strong support for today's decision and broad agreement that our policy stance does leave us in a good place. But I would point to two factors, and you mentioned them. The first is just that parties have a diversity of forecasts, and they do align with where their dots are. So if you have a higher inflation forecast, you're going to be less likely to be writing down, more cuts. But remember, as we see more data, we're going to learn more about where inflation is headed, and that means
Okay, let's review this trade quick. Let's review this for the YouTube. Alright, what's going on, guys? We just caught a banger trade post Fomc. We actually just closed full at this lows here, pre-New York lows. Could have taken it as well, but take what they gave me. So if you go to the 4 frame, let me just delete everything first. So we can see that Monday traded higher. I ran out these highs. I did not mean to click that. Ran out these highs into this, as well as this fair value gap. If we get to the midpoint, then price is this fair value gap. This fair value gap because it was the first fair value gap. So from this kind, it was the first. So for the rest of the week, it's quite important. We had FOMC today, so that's what we call time then price. So during the retested gap down to the hourly time frame. If you go to the time frame, we had pre-New York lows as our low of the day. So going into the news, we had equal lows because we also had 9:30 news. We had 9:30 low, pre-New York low. From there, as we entered into the low quadrant of the 4-hour time frame fair value gap. We had large highs right here, which really gave it away. The recording you see, I pointed this out before it happened. And we had launch hour lows, the launch hour liquidity right here. Wait to the top side. well as this. So I was trying to trade back into this. Oh my god, this freed me, bro. Back into this EV. Sorry, this volume imbalance as well right here. Over here, my stops was above this high. Looking for this. So I was scaling in. My last entry did come like right here. We had power, you can see. So we had price go up. I was a bit scared when it got here, I'll be honest, but we keep our stuff here for a reason. When price traded down, I added another position right there. And that was that. Truth. And that was the end of the trade. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.